Hey there, everyone. As I indicated in our daily financial news, I've been lucky enough to be invited to speak at a real estate club this afternoon. And I always look to create original content, original PowerPoints as my story and my market changes. So when I do that, when I'm asked to speak somewhere else, I always bring that content to this YouTube channel. So what you're about to see is a dry run. I will release this dry run after I gave the live presentation. So this will be available Friday, July 24th in the afternoon, probably 1 or 1:30. But without further ado, let's take a look at what we are going to be talking about at this real estate investing club. All right. And of course, it is a PowerPoint presentation. All right, so I've been invited to speak at this real estate investment club, really to talk about our book, One Rental at a Time. This is a buy and hold club interested in being landlords. So that's kind of the context of the group, hence the presentation we are about to give. So first and foremost, want to make sure the audience appreciates and understands that if you are looking to follow a 15-year journey from a single house to financial freedom, from reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad to putting it in practice, it can be found in our book. It is on Amazon in both Kindle and paperback, and most recently brought to Audible. We actually just went to over 1,000 downloads on Audible, which blows my mind away. It's an amazing accomplishment for a self-published author, and really exciting. So if you've read this book and you're watching this, or maybe you're in the audience this afternoon, do me a favor. The only thing I ask, I give so much away for free, is if you can, go leave a 5-star review, because that is the only thing that kind of helps my rankings in Amazon. So if you can do me that favor, thumbs up for me. All right, so our time together. I want everybody to appreciate that one rental at a time can work for you. It slow and steady wins the race. It is something that can work, should work, and will work if you put in the time. So that's important to me. I also believe in today's environment, one rental at a time is a great goal, right? Why get lost in somebody else's goal of hundreds or thousands of units? This is about you and your family. So let's just talk about getting one. Or if you have one, let's talk about getting the next one. I believe the key to one rental at a time is focus. I believe too many new investors that are stuck at zero are scattered. I do believe it takes execution, consistent execution. But probably most importantly, and what I focus on doing with new investors, is building confidence. I believe a lot of people are stuck because they haven't built confidence in themselves. They're risk averse. They're scared. I do offer up a way to build confidence, and it's through repetition and focus. I do want everybody to be clear that I think the market today, as we're listening to this, giving this presentation in July of 2020, that the market today is hyper competitive. We have record low supply. I've never seen anything like this. We have a change in consumers that are leaving apartments and becoming first-time owners. So investors, please be careful. And you are going to hear me say this repeatedly today. It's probably my most quoted thing, is learn your market. Learning your market is a skill. Learning your market builds confidence and allows you to strike when deals make sense, but also allows you to walk away from deals that don't make sense. And maybe that's a lesson for today. I believe there's only one question that matters. I believe you need to understand what is a bad, average, good, and great deal in your chosen market. That's it. That's what I want you to understand. If you can do that, you can set yourself up to be a great real estate investor. So a little bit about us, because again, I'm talking to full-time employees. This is a real estate meetup at noon, so their lunch hour. We were both started this as full-time employees. I believe we've been doing this a while. So the best market for us was 2010. Right? Banks said no, traditional sellers disappeared, buyers disappeared, fake investors, speculators blew up. Just kind of a quick reality check for you. We didn't and never lived in the market we chose, which people find interesting. We knew our market. We knew what a great deal was. We found ways to buy everything we could. And something else that some people don't realize is we didn't have a system. We didn't do door knocking. We didn't do mailers. We didn't have wholesalers, right? We started this way back in 2002. And we just bought everything out of the MLS, multiple listing service, realtor.com, Zillow, Redfin, all of that. So here's our beginnings in detail. We were burned out stock market investors. We were investing in day trading like everybody else was. And that worked for a while and then it didn't. I had a day job that would take me all over the world for at least 100 nights a year, which is terrible. Well over 100,000 airline miles a year, terrible. We only had about 40,000 in cash when we started, when we bought our first house, our first investment house. I have to say, and if you ever read our book, you'll hear it, you'll see it, one of the most painful stories of our journey. My wife was 100% bought in, on board, and stayed true throughout the cycle, even when all the bad stuff happened. We read everything we could, both books and about our market. We spent much of 2002 looking for that deal in the Bay Area because everything we read said invest 30 minutes from home. That was a wasted year. We wanted to drive our properties, no flights. That was important to us because that's why we didn't go out of state. And lastly, we had no family members in the real estate business. We had really no one that owned rentals or investors. We didn't have experience. We were on our own, as they say. So we found Fresno, California. It's 2.5 hours away from the Bay Area. 101, 152, 99, pretty simple drive. We bought our first house at 1818 Norris Drive. You'll see the Zillow screenshot here in a minute. It rented for $1,100. The tenants moved in and then bad stuff happened. That's a story we detail in the book. It was not fun. It almost crushed us. It could have very easily washed us out. If you don't know what I'm talking about, get the book. It's a painful story. Lending was very easy. It was unhealthy easy, certainly by 2005 and 6. It was pretty easy in 2002 as well. I think we closed in December. We did buy 7 or 8 houses. I think we bought 7 properties, 8 units is what I think it actually was in those first 2.5 years, all out of the MLS. The capital for that came from savings. We did do 401k loans, and then we did cash out refis. And again, one of the things that's documented in the book is I created an alligator property by doing a cash out refinance that was stupid. I took too much cash and I turned a positive cash flow into an alligator, and hence that image I've added to the book. Yes, and we created an alligator. Never do that. Never buy it. All of that stuff. It's bad. So I wanted to show this. This is our Norris Drive, just again to talk about kind of the history. You can see we bought it there December 11th, 2002 for $107,000. We sold it almost 3 years later to the date for $264,000. It was foreclosed on about 4 years later at $75,000, and then was retraded at $153,000 here recently. So again, the story right now has the property at $170,000. So a couple of things you need to learn your market. You need to take profits when other investors want to overpay. If we did not do that 1031 exchange back in 2005, we would not be financially free today. For us, we saw similar markets to this craziness in multifamily. Bigger is better in 2019. So we liquidated some. Holding forever is not always the right answer. People like to talk about buy and hold forever with rental properties. And in some markets that are boring and flat, makes perfect sense. But investing in California means you get outside gains and losses. So, it's important to stay engaged. You need to know when to buy and when to sell. And then lastly, when we look at 1818 Norris Drive, I wonder when it will be worth $264 again, because it appraised for $264, right? Today it's $170, maybe $180. I don't know, when does it get back to 260, right? We sold it way back in '05. That's 15 years ago. So pretty crazy. So again, I think it's always interesting to relate today to the past and see if there's anything we can learn from it. In '05 to '07, lenders became focused on transactions, and they were just feeding Wall Street. Dinner conversation, right? Going out with friends became about flipping real estate. It was the number one topic. Think about, it's much like the dot-com craze of 2000. Everybody was talking about internet stocks. We saw in the Bay Area people flipping contracts for newly built condos that were not constructed, and they were making 50 grand every time. This is an important one. Rent growth was flat. Rent growth that Norris Drive House stayed 1095 for the better part of a decade. And the reason that was is because tenants could move out of move out and into a house because lending was so easy. So we were taking tenants that should be renters, creating owners, that ultimately went back to being renters when the crash happened. So what about 2010 and 12? Could it be, something similar? Well, payments ballooned, right? Those variable rate loans reset. Again, very different than today. Banks said they wouldn't talk to us wouldn't talk to someone until they were 90 days late. Again, very different than today. Owners of houses saw value erode. That's definitely not happening today. The feedback loop was nasty, right? When you start seeing price drops and price drops and price drops, prices were in free fall. Everyone was scared. Bank, sellers, buyers, investors. It was tough. Motivated sellers went from hard to find to easy to find. Definitely different than today. Again, you need to learn your market and watch. So starting today, today is the most dangerous market I have seen for new investors. It just is. The lack of supply, the competition from owner occupants is as fierce and chaotic that I have ever seen. You really need to protect yourself. You really need to learn your market. You really need to be patient today. These next 6 months, all I can tell you is you should be learning your market, and patient capital sometimes wins. I believe most people starting today should just think about getting 4 rental properties. I think getting to 4 is a great goal. Stop saying I want 1,000 or 10,000 or whatever. There's nothing wrong with 4. Our journey, it's not sexy, but it starts with sacrifice. Live below your means. Earn, save, invest, repeat. A very simple mindset. Bigger isn't always better. It was for a long time, but here, starting really in 2019, that became a lie. It just wasn't. And we sold, just like we sold houses back in '05, we sold apartments in 19. I want people to bet on themselves. I am very annoyed when I hear people just throw money at other investors and want to be a part of their thing. I think you need to trust yourself. You need to build confidence. You need to learn your market. That's what I think is missing in the industry, is you need confidence in yourself. I do think by creating focus and execution, it will build confidence and help you write offers on good or great deals. Don't rush. Please don't rush. This is a crazy market. Look at point number 1. But learn your market. Do the work. Get confident. I still look at my market every day after 20 years, and I'm still learning and evolving because it's changing all the time. So what am I getting ready for? I believe that the single-family home market is going to be accelerating the next couple of years. So I am going to be looking to buy houses as multifamily adjusts. Again, we wrote about this, what we did in '02 to '07, so very similar. I do not believe that forbearance is a cure that most people do think it is. I think it does delay pain, but that pain comes due at some point down the line, and I want to be ready for it. On-market deals are getting bid up like crazy. They may be average when we start, but they're bad when they finish. Don't do that. If it's an okay deal at 200, don't offer 210, because you're just taking a good deal and making it bad. Patient investing is hard. It's hard for me. I get I get antsy when I don't make an offer a week or two. It's tough today. I get it, but you should be building confidence in yourself and doing the work. I look at my market every day. I still do, right? I looked at it usually in the morning just to see what's on the market, what's coming, what's going. Today, it's about what's flying off the shelf. It's pretty amazing what's happening. What we will likely be doing in 2024 to 2026 is doing some 1031 exchanges, assuming that's still available. You know, there's talk by some of the candidates for presidency that might go away, but I'm going to assume it's still there. And if it is, we will 1031 out of houses into small apartment buildings, just like we did before. So I want you to believe in yourself, not others. That's an important thing. That's really why I wrote the book. It's why I've created the course. Real estate investing will test you. Bad things happen all the time. You need to learn your market and never stop. If I'm still looking at my market every day after 20 years and I've done hundreds of transactions, you should too. Holding forever is not always a great idea. I think a lot of the buy and hold investors out there talk about holding until they die. At least in California, that doesn't make sense. I'd still be working in tech if we held on to those first 7 properties, because you can't retire on 7 houses in the Bay Area. Just can't. Momentum works on the way up and the way down. Real estate is a slow moving freight train, but once it gets going, it will go up higher than you expect and it will go lower than you expect. Right now, I believe, at least in single family homes, we are on the higher end of that. I believe 4 rental properties can change your life and is a great first goal. If you get to 4 and you like it, go to 10. If you get to 4 and don't like it, stop. Again, if you like 4, get more. If you don't, stop. Buy and hold landlord is a get rich slow business. Not sexy, doesn't look good on social media. I'm sorry. I want you to believe that you can do it. I'm here to help. We put out original content on my YouTube channel every day. Wrote a book to help you create inspiration and belief and confidence. So if you want to stay engaged with me, the best way to do that is to follow me on YouTube, one rental at a time. I produce multiple original videos every single day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. If you want to know the full story, you want to see what 15 years of mistakes and wins look like, our book, One Rental at a Time, is there for you. Just so you know, if you'd rather listen than watch, all of my YouTube content over 5 minutes gets converted to a podcast by the same name, One Rental at a Time. Those happen in mass uploads every Saturday. And then lastly, the best thing I've created is a course to learn your market, right? It's called How to Get Started One Rental at a Time. You know, it documents everything that I do today, gets you invited, or at least allows you to get invited to a Facebook group where I just interact with students. We do a Saturday live stream to answer questions, and the Facebook group is growing and people are interacting with each other. And I've kept the price point low on purpose. It's only $199 because I don't have any big goals or big dreams or want a Lamborghini or anything silly like that. I just want to sit where I'm at, enjoy the rest of my life, and reach down and help people build confidence and help them learn their market. So that's me. One rental at a time works. If you want to get a hold of me, there's my email address, mzuber@onerentalatatime. All right. So thank you for watching. That was a dry run. That is our story. I'm not a great marketer of the course. I do think it is the best thing I've created. I think it's the best time to use it. This 6-month window it's going to be dicey, I think. But this is the perfect time to learn. For $200, you can learn your market, get confident in yourself, and trust yourself. That'd be awesome. All right, everybody, take care. Wish me luck. Thanks.